Hey everybody. Uh I hope I'm not yelling. I got something going with my ear. Can't hardly hear out of it. Uh in fact, I just got back from ER and evidently I've got a perforated eardrum. I don't have any idea how that happened. Uh and I've been having a lot of swelling in my feet and my ankles, so I just had to go get it checked out, but uh I tell you what, I know people say getting old's a privilege, and it is. Um, but man, it just sucks sometimes. I mean, everything just starts falling apart, huh? Uh, and you just can't do the things you used to do anymore, and it's aggravating, and you just don't feel good most of the time. And especially if you're like me and your job requires you to be on your feet all the time. Um, I don't know. Uh, I guess it's better than the alternative, right? You either get old or you don't, but I'm not that old, or I don't think I'm that old. Uh, I've just, I guess, not really even had that hard of a life. I mean, the work I've done, nursing isn't easy. Um, a lot of lifting, a lot of tugging, pulling, walking, being on your feet nonstop. Um, I believe it's more uh, mentally taxing than uh, anything. But I don't know. Those of y'all that have been following me already know that the last 2 years of my life have been total chaos. But uh, I don't know. I guess it's going to get better, or it won't, and I'll deal with it. I mean, I've let it get me so depressed, and it seemed the harder I tried, the worse things got, and the more walls I hit, and that's when you stop to think, well, maybe I'm just not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be doing this. So, but in order to make changes, you usually need money. Uh, anything costs money. Moving, get another house, whatever. And my car, it's starting to do weird stuff. So, usually without the car, there goes the job, because you got to have a way to get to work. And, it's just like a flipping domino effect. Um, Either way, I'm just so thankful for you guys. I can come on here and vent, and I feel better, and talking to y'all helps me. Um, Now I've got to go to I know a lot of y'all don't know the medical field, so I'll just say it in layman's terms, an ear, nose, and throat doctor, an ENT, um, about this ear. Hi, Rain. How are you doing, lovely? I've been thinking about you. I'm wondering if you's okay after just hadn't seen anybody or talked to anybody in a while. Yeah, I'm on here whining about getting older. And I'll tell y'all another thing. I haven't really had time, or even the want to be honest, to do my work. Um, And I think that may be a whole lot of what has screwed me up because I count on it. It's my peace. It's my the way I deal with things, and I honestly just have not had time or the room. It's not because I haven't wanted to. It's just all this other stuff is going on, and I just um well, it's it's still there. Uh that's what I was just talking about, getting older. I just don't know that I'm going to be able to do it. Um I had to go to ER tonight. As I said earlier, I have evidently a perforated eardrum. I don't know how that happened. They said I had a little hole in my eardrum that was healing. When did I get a hole in my eardrum? I have no idea. Um, and I had a lot of edema in my feet and in my ankles. So bad that I couldn't even put my shoes on. Um, so I missed a couple of days of work. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. You know. Oh, it's okay. It's just a phase. It's. I was told a long time ago to try to stay off the floor, just pass the meds, and don't do all the lifting and all that crap that goes along with the other part of nursing. But when you need a job, you take what you can get, and that's all that was available. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Honestly, if it's up to me, I'd just stop nursing. I really would, Rain. Um, I love it. I love my job. I've done it my whole life. I really don't know anything else, but it just seems I'm getting more and more to where I can't do my job. And it makes it harder on my coworkers. It makes it harder on my nurse managers, because I got to find people to come in and cover me if I can't be there. And, I just let so many people down, that I need to find something else to do. My daughter-in-law was like, well, why don't you try Walmart? And I was like, well, if my feet are swelling standing at a cash register at Walmart for, a whole shift ain't gonna help me either. So, but it doesn't matter what I do. I can sit here or I can be up moving around and they still swell. So, I had to go. I went ahead and went to ER tonight because of my ear. I cannot hear. I mean, I can hear, but I don't know if any of y'all have ever had swimmer's ear. It just feels like I'm talking underwater. So if my volume when I'm talking to y'all goes up and down, that's why. Because I talk loud anyway because I've worked in geriatrics my whole life, and those people can't hear. There's nothing else that I can make money though, Rain. I've thought about that. I love being a witch. I can't make no money at it. I guess some witches do, but um, I'm not the type, to get paid for spell work and all that. I mean, to each their own. I don't want all that responsibility, you know, or the drama that comes along if something doesn't work for someone. I just don't want to be a part of that. Does your read have a swishing? Yes, it does. Uh, honestly, what made me get up and go because it felt like something was crawling around down in there. And I have had a bug get down in my ear at one time, but I got him out myself. Um, but this time, and I was sitting here, and all of a sudden I felt something just kind of ooze out. So I took my finger, I thought, oh, what was that? And it was just a clear fluid, no smell to it, nothing. So it's not an infection. I don't know. He said I had a perforated eardrum. I don't have any idea how I done that. I mean, I use Q-tips to clean my ear, but I don't go anywhere near far enough for it to pop my eardrum. You know? I don't know. And of course, the first thing they did was give me some prednisone. I was like, guys, I mean, I'm up all night anyway, but usually, I'll stay up till a certain time because I work 3 to 11, actually 3 to 11:30, and got to be able to sleep, you know. He gave me 40 milligrams of the prednisone, but I only took 20. Yeah. The nurse let me pocket one, so, I just can't handle that much at one time. That's a lot of prednisone. I mean, I may, take it the other one here in about an hour or so, kind of space them apart, but I don't know. I don't like that feeling, it gives you. If you've ever been on a steroid, I just don't like it. So how have you been? I need to cut this damn bracelet off. Awful expensive bracelet, you guys. Yeah. Well, and it's not that I don't trust the doctors. It's just that I'm a medication nurse. And I know these meds, and I know my body. And I know my body is not going to deal with 40 milligrams of a steroid. Especially when I don't ever take the stuff. Pretty bracelet, isn't it, though? It's an expensive one. It even has my name and all that on it. I'm like, I got to cut this off. Oh. But yeah, I don't know. And there it goes. All this paperwork. Now I got to go to, and I already told you that. And they tell you to stay off your feet, prop your feet up. Who can do that? Come on. Who can do that? Not me. I mean, I'll go in there and lay down and put them up, and I'll lay there until I feel like I'm going to get a cube on my coccyx, a bed sore on my butt. I've been good. My elder doggy. Oh. Can't accept it because he lived. Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh, I know. Yeah, we love our pets, but man, when they die, it's our children. I got my older cat, he's trugging along, but he's starting to do some pretty weird stuff. So I know, and Lexi up here, she's in trouble all the time as usual. What are you doing? Don't chew on that. Don't chew on that. I swear my cat has pica. She's always chewing on paper or cardboard. She'll just chaw on it. Yeah, I do. I mean, I know the day will come, but, unless somehow I go before they do. But I swear the last time I said I wasn't getting no more animals, it just hurts me so bad. But I don't know. Such is life, I had this rabbit hole conversation with a friend of mine here a while back that We were talking about the meaning of life and of course, that's a rabbit hole you can go down in and get lost. I mean, there's just so much. And as we get older in our bodies, we start entering the Crone stage. Slowly but surely your body starts, giving out. You start losing your teeth, your hearing goes, eyesight, other things that set in, weight gain. Um, you know, not saying that everybody is vain, but, you know, when you look good, you feel good, right? When you feel attractive, you are attractive. Especially with the young girls, when you dress up and go out, it's all fun. And it's the game that's played when you're younger, and the attraction, of the opposite sex, and um just all the things that go along with being young. And I think it bothers men. They have their middle age crisis they go through too, their manhood and their masculinity is being um, uh, put on notice, or something like that. And with women, I think it's a lot different, because our body physically goes through these changes, like your hormones, you go through menopause, and the weight gain. Most women will gain weight as they get older. And with me, as I've always said, I didn't get above 110 pounds my whole life. I mean, when I was pregnant, 9 months pregnant, delivering my children, healthy children, I only weighed 139 pounds, you know, and now, I just seem to, I'm not even going to worry about it anymore. I'll do the best I can to keep it down because it's more healthy. But it just starts becoming a pain in the ass as you get older. It seems like something's always going wrong. And in nursing, you cannot have that. I mean, it's bothersome enough being on your feet that many hours at a time. And a lot of times you take on extra shifts, and it's just, any of y'all that have ever been in nursing in any part of it know what I'm talking about. You just get to the point to where you just can't do it anymore. You can, but it's awful painful. So here we are at yet another crossroads. And who's the queen of the crossroads? My mommy, Hecate. But I mean, there's no miracle pill. There's no spell. You're going to get older or you're going to die. There's only two options. And I guess it all depends on how we accept it and move forward. Not to say it's not hard. I've been going through this awful turmoil in my head here lately, but it's not necessarily about getting older. It factors in because there's so many things I want to do. I want to get my own house again. I need a new car. I want to buy these specific things for my family for their birthdays and Christmas. And, I just can't do that because I don't have the money to do that. And in order to have money, you got to work, right? And working just seems to be a nemesis of mine here lately. I have the worst luck as far as the job and my health go. So I don't know. One day at a time, That's about all I can do. But I need to get my altar set back up and just, I talk to Hecate all the time anyway. I'm always chattering something to her, but and it's getting nicer outside. So maybe I can make me a little fire and, I don't know. I honestly just don't ever get around to it. If, I work till 11, well, actually I don't even get off till 11:30. So I get home around midnight. And then, it takes me that time to wind down so I can go back to sleep to be there the next day at 3, or I have to leave here at 2:30. But I mean, everybody goes through it. Everybody that works goes through it. It's just the way it is. But I sure miss, going, and back when I wasn't working, there was no issue to, working. I was always in my altar room, or when I had my own house. And well, y'all can look back in my other videos. I was always making videos, doing something witchy, which is what I love. And I don't know. I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason. Whatever that is, I don't know at this time, and may not know for a very long time. Who knows? I just have to stop questioning it and then take it one at a time. I don't know. But it seems like every time I get a leg up and I'm doing good and I'm all right, we're going to make this money. We're going to save this money. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Something happens. And it really makes me think I made the wrong move. Back when I was standing at the crossroads, per se, about 3 years ago, 2.5. Had a big decision to make, and I think I made the wrong one. Because ever since I turned down this road, it's been hell at every turn. No matter how hard I try, no matter what I do, I'm hitting my head against a brick wall. So I made a wrong turn. I had a friend of mine ask me, do you think somebody put a curse on you? First of all, why would they? I haven't done anything to anyone. Second of all, if they did, they're going to wish like hell they hadn't, because it'll already be put back on them without me even knowing. No, I think it's just people just go through things in life, people pop up and things happen, and it doesn't mean anybody's cursed you or hexed you. It just means that's just his life. So I don't know. I do enjoy coming on here and visiting with y'all, though, and I love my witchy community. I just wish, hopefully one day I'll be able to come on here with good news, guys. But here lately, it's just not to be. I get over one thing with my health. Y'all know that I had that heart attack and had a stent put in, and I was all excited about that because my cardiologist says, you're fine. Your heart's really, really good. And I'm like, yay, okay. And then this happens. Okay, my heart's doing good, so let's have some swelling in the feet. And while we're at it, throw a busted eardrum on there. What the hell? How did I even get a busted eardrum? Or perforated is what they call it. I mean, guys, I'm a gun shooter. you know. Of course, I always have earplugs in my ears when I'm popping them off, but it's awful loud, you know. And I don't know. I just don't understand how it would happen, but I don't know. Now I got to go see this ENT. I swear. I used to never go to doctors, guys. I wasn't ever sick. If I did have to go, it was major, you know. I had my gallbladder removed. I busted my head open, dislocated my shoulder, broke my tailbone, you know, things like that. It just, now I'm just falling apart and it's really depressing. Can't get up and do what you want to do anymore. And I am thankful though when I start feeling that way, and this is what you guys need to do. Um, yeah, you know, shit's gonna happen. Um, but you got to try really hard to think of the good. And you know, I'm thankful that I'm a great grandma. You know, I'm a great grandmother, and a lot of people can't say that. A lot of people don't live to be old enough to be a great grandma. And I have beautiful grandchildren, and my son's doing wonderful now, and my daughter-in-law, and you know, my other grandson. And I mean, things around me, except for my personal space and, you know, the mess I'm in, everybody's doing well. And, you know, that's okay. I would rather be the one going through this shit than my family and my kids, you know. Um, and they worry about me, you know. And I've done a lot of thinking about that too, guys, because look, I've worked in nursing homes my whole life. I mean, 40 years now. And not that I'm at that stage yet, but you know, when things start going wrong with your body and you're already thinking weird, it's like, oh my God, am I going to end up in, you know, nursing home? Not that nursing homes are bad, people. I mean, some of them are, and you know, you can see the drama all over the place about them, but in general, most of the people that work in them places do their job and they love them people and they take care of them people. But it doesn't matter how good the place is, it's not your home. You know what I'm saying? So the resident isn't going to be happy, you know, if they know they're there, if they're cognitive and they have all their faculties, they're, you know, I understand, you know, what's going on. You are, yes, I am. And that's what I try to keep telling myself, Rain, because y'all been through this with me for the last 2 years, man. And I have been beside myself. It's like, what the hell? Stop. You know, I'm screaming at the goddess and threatening to turn my back on my craft. And, you know, it's like, what the hell is going on? And I've been pretty depressed. And to be honest with y'all, I hate what I do for a living. I love the people. I love the coming home each night knowing that I made a big difference in a lot of people's lives in that short 8 hour time. And every day I see these same people, and every day I'm there for them at Christmas time and on their birthdays, and no family is, you know, they count on me, not just because I give them medications, but because I am constant. I'm a constant figure and dependable figure in their lives when nothing and nobody else is anymore. And I hate that kind of pressure now because I'm getting older myself and my health isn't that great. Um, I keep trugging along. I keep trying, but you know, sometimes no avail, and I'm getting tired of trying to be there for everybody else when I need to be there for myself for a change. You know, um, I've got issues to be dealt with mentally and physically, and I just I find myself getting aggravated at work, which my job can be pretty damn aggravating. Um, Trust me. Um, and it's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's just the way it is. And but when I get home, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I can't do this anymore. But it's because of all the other, I don't feel good most of the time. I don't have any energy or hurt of it, you know. And call it burnout, could be about time. I've grown up in nursing, literally, and I don't know anything else. So, and I don't know anything else that'll pay what I get paid to where I can pay bills and at least live comfortably. I don't need to be rich. I just want to be able to go to the grocery store and buy what I want to eat, pay my rent, and afford a car that'll get me back and forth to where I need to go. The simple things. I don't want to have to worry about, can I afford my pet food this week? Um, my medicine that I have to take. I mean, it's just so fucking overwhelming sometimes. And my patience is not good anymore. I don't have the patience like I used to, and the what would I call it? The stamina. So once again, I am at yet another crossroads, which I seem to be standing at all the time anymore, for one reason or the other. But as usual, I will bring you along with me. Um, just mainly to show you that it happens to all of us. Um, Pretty much we all go through the same exact things. Unless you were, I wouldn't call it fortunate enough, uh, to have a silver spoon in your mouth where, you have all the money in the world and don't have nothing to worry about. I mean, that sounds like the ideal life, but I guarantee you, even the people that have all that money in their bank, I guarantee you there's something else going on in their lives, whether it be their family, their home, their minds. I guarantee you, everything is never as perfect as it seems because money can't buy you that. Um, so it doesn't matter what we have, right? We're always wanting more. We're always wanting something different. Um, those two statements right there pretty much define mankind. um, if everybody was content with what was going on in their lives, then they would never progress. Mankind would not progress. If we hadn't had the thinkers, the dreamers, we'd have never went to the moon. Um, just all kinds of things. But sometimes it's just not meant to be. And you can't explain why. Like, right, I'm sorry if it's Lexi shaking over there, scratching, and she's moving my entire keyboard. Um, I don't know. Um, I just know that there's a lot of people out there. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. I work in the field with people that are depressed and suicidal and all areas of the medical field, and all in nursing. And whether you want to or not, you kind of find yourself understanding them. It's like, "Oh, I understand what made you want to do that. I understand why you feel the way you feel." You can't tell them that. You're not their counselor. You're there to take care of their needs at the moment, not to heal them, you know? Um, you pave the way for them to heal themselves. And so sometimes it's really hard for me to keep my mouth shut and not say, "Hey, I understand. I know where you've been. I'm there too." I just can't do that at work. Maybe sell something witchy, produce a good luck manifestation. Yeah, yeah. I've thought about all that, Rain. When I still had my house, I had started, making candles and oils, and was planning on doing some other stuff. But to be honest with you, I just didn't have the money to buy all the material and everything I needed to make this stuff. I mean, I was literally flat broke. Um, it took all I had just to keep utilities on and what have you. But I love doing stuff like that, and I really wish I could make enough money that it would actually pay the bills and put food on the table. Um, because I love it. I love putting on my music and making my candles. But where I'm at right now, I don't have the room to do that. I don't have the space. Um, everything hinges on me just getting my own place again, you know? And that's why having these jobs was so important. And I keep, stuff just keeps screwing up with me. Like, damn, take money. Yep, it does. The wax that I use to make my candles, because I usually buy it at least 50 pounds at a time. That's $100. Yeah. Might as well say $100 online for because I use soy wax. That way it doesn't take away from the bees and it's much easier to clean up. Yeah, I'll sit there and make 30 candles a night sometimes just because I love doing it so much. I've still got candles in there that I made 3 years ago. Yeah. I've made certain manifestation candles and sent them to a few of the witches that I know personally, um, over the years. But hell, it got to where I couldn't even afford the shipping and handling. It's like, okay, yeah, I can either send this candle off or I can go buy my cat a bag of cat food. So guess what won over? Well, wax is good. It's what yeah, it's really easy to work with, and like I said, you're not taking away from the bees. It's really easy to clean up, and it holds a scent a lot better than actual beeswax, if you ask me. But that's my opinion. Um, I just love doing it. I like all that stuff. I used to put on my what I call my witchy music, and I'd be in the house by myself in the evening. My boyfriend at the time worked nights a lot, and that's what I'd be doing. And I was very happy and very content at that time. Yeah. Yeah, shipping is horrible. And a lot of witches put their stuff on Etsy, and you have to pay to do that, or they take X amount. I researched it one time, but I didn't want to do it. It's just too much trouble. So I just sold to my hometown girls and guys, and I never actually, thought I'd ever get rich doing it, but I did wanna at least make enough to pay for my to rebuy my materials because I enjoy doing it. I don't have to make money doing it. I just want enough to be able to replenish my supplies. And it's not just the wax, you gotta think about, and some of that stuff you'll only buy one time, like your wick holders and stuff like that. But you got to buy your jars and uh, the wicks and the scents. And if you want them colored, you got to buy the coloring. And I mean, it can get pretty damn costly when you make them to the extent that I used to. Even had my own little logo that I got patented, and um, I just had to stop all doing all that when I had to move. Um, I don't know. I don't know, Rain. I mean, there's a lot going on right now, mainly my career, the very livelihood that I count on. Am I able to do it? Am I able to do this anymore? And, the other nurses, and if you're a nursing, you might as well be in the actual service, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, because this is how we are structured. Nursing is pretty much, the same thing. We even go by military time. Um, and we're very conditioned and disciplined people because you have to be. And we learn very quickly, way early in the field, that you can't take that shit home with you. You can't carry it around. And no telling what you're going to see or hear, or, if you may even get hit, or there's just no telling. And I'm just tired of it. I really am. But I think mainly because I already have so much going on. Used to, I could go to work. I might have a hell of a night, but it was okay because I could go home and I'd have my peace and quiet. I'd have my me time. I can't do that anymore, and I think that is what my biggest problem is right now. I don't have my own personal space, which I'm very used to having, and it's really depressing and annoying. When my babies were young, I made flower lace to sell at graduation ceremonies, and also sold soda pop in a cooler and package. Aw, see? Where there's a will, there's a way, huh? Yeah. Um, and I don't mean to come on here and whine. I really don't, because everybody has their own private hell. I realize that. It's just I don't know how else to vent. This is how I vent. Unfortunately, y'all get to hear it all. And I'm sorry. One of these days, and I'm better than I was, right? I mean, I'm not sitting around and thinking about putting a bullet in my head, figure of speech, guys. I got pretty depressed there for a while. I was just lost and not feeling good. I have been sick ever since I've been here. Have I not? I've been sick more than the last 2 years than I have been in my entire life. And that is no exaggeration. First, it was my lungs. Y'all remember when I went through that? They had me scared to death. I just knew someone was going to tell me, I had lung cancer. That was after my heart attack. Now I'm deaf and my feet swollen. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to say. I mean, damn. I need a witchy retreat, Ray. We all need to get together and we're coming to Hawaii, Missy. And we're staying with you. Just kidding. Don't freak out. I wouldn't do that to you. Nowadays it's different. Hard to sell on the streets. Everyone's selling. Yeah. Because it's easier, and you reach a wider scope of people. And I understand that, but that's a lot of shipping and handling. It truly is. I could not believe what the post office, one candle in a box, 8-ounce candle, it cost me $12, $13, somewhere in there to send. And that was after I already had some postage paid on it. Yeah. It's just insane. I mean, everything. You can't do anything anymore because everything is so damn high. Rent. Oh, rent around here is just stupid. In this tiny, small ass, dumpy town I live in, and it's dirty. They don't keep their houses up, but they want to charge you $900 a month for a little tiny 1-bedroom house. One lady sent me a picture. Said, I heard you was looking for a house, and sent me a picture of this. Or she said, I have one for $1,200 a month, and it's 3-bedroom. Well, it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. All right, it was a trailer house. That the side, there was no skirting on the bottom of it. 2 of the windows that I could see from the picture were busted. It looked like it would not withstand a 50-mile-an-hour wind, much less a possible tornado. None of them will. It just, I thought, and you want $1,200 a month for that? It ought to be condemned. Nobody should be able to live in that, and you get away with it. Is there even plumbing? I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it. Oh. I don't know. I got to go talk to my nurse man or my DON tomorrow, I guess, and we're going to figure out something. Maybe put me on a different unit. I don't know. I mean, it's a psych hospital. There is no good unit per se, right? I don't know what else to do. Just hope like hell my ear heals. It's really annoying. I don't know. So what time is it there, Rain? I know you're 12 hours ahead of me? I can't remember. I get it. Oh, okay. Well, you're not as far behind me as I thought then. Because it's like 3:40 a.m. here. Oh, that's 6 hours. Unless you're behind me. I can't remember. I don't know when I'm supposed to go to. I got another doctor. Good God. Lexi, stop. Stop it. Come here. Come here. You stop that. Lexi, I swear you can't shut a door around her. She'll sit there and put her paw underneath there and try to pull on it and scratch it. She don't like shut doors. You can't do that. You can't do that. Stop. So I don't know, guys. I'm literally on a wing and a prayer right now, you know. I don't know. Hecate's probably sitting up there going, what are you going to do now? Well, thank you. Get down. Get down. Thank you, Rain. You can't sit there, Lexi. But I guess everybody else is in bed. I don't know. Well, you want to chat about anything, Rain? It's just me and you, I guess. I am going to come up with some sort of incantation or some sort of talisman, or I'll get these little ideas in my head and then they'll go away and then they'll come back. So something will be downloaded. Just don't know when. But it's beautiful outside now, so now is a good time to get out and do, things outside as far as my work goes. Need to get my cauldron going. Lexi, you're going to have to move. You cannot sit there. Come on. Cigarette smoke going right in your face. Come on. Come down here and do that. Oh. Anyway, I don't know what else to say, guys. I'm about to start doing a lot of thinking, though. Hardcore thinking. I think my brain's cleared up enough now to where I might be able to do something. Yeah. It hasn't gotten really hot here yet, but I think yesterday it was 86, and that's pretty hot for the end of May around here. Yeah, but we've had storms blowing through too. None of them have really gotten all that close to me, but it still affects the weather. I don't know. I love my thunderstorms. It rained and thundered today. Most of the time anymore, all we get is bad weather, like the, tornadoes and floods and shit like that, instead of just a good old fashioned thunderstorm. which I love. I love hearing the thunder. And this morning, we actually, or yesterday morning, shall I say, um, it actually thundered quite a bit. And it was just a real nice, heavy, good rain, which a lot of us needed. It was getting pretty dry, you know. But now, the rainy season will be over per se, and it's just gonna probably be friggin' hot and humid. I don't know. But I'm probably gonna be moving. As I said, I thought, well, maybe I can stay here and work and get some more money saved up, and because it's gonna be even harder for me to find something to do up there. I have a feeling. And once I get up there, oh, I'm so tired of it. Seriously, guys, I want to get in one spot and stay there. For you younger people out there, and I know I was told this too, if at all possible, get you a good job and buy you a house. Buy that sucker. So you don't have to worry about it. I'd have still been where I was, except I was renting and they sold it after I'd been there for 5 years. I do enjoy that kind of thunder. Me too. I'm scared of tornadoes, hurricane. Yeah. And I'll tell you, being right there in Hawaii, whew, you're right in the middle of the ocean. I'm not, when I lived in California, I went through an earthquake, and I couldn't understand how people could live out there. But they couldn't understand how I could live up where there's tornadoes. Well, you know, first of all, there's a season for tornadoes usually, you know. They can happen anytime, anywhere, but most in generally, you're going to have a season for them around here, and you can hide from them. You know when they're coming. There's warning signs. With an earthquake, there's not. Literally, there's nothing. Just boom, and then everything starts shaking. So I was like, hell no. Yeah, and you can't hide from it. Where are you going to go during an earthquake? Okay, go stand, in the door facing or whatever, and, in a doorway. But that's not going to help the ground coming open under your feet. I'm way more afraid of an earthquake than I am a tornado. Rather not be in either one, but, yeah. I guess there's, every part of the world and even every state has their own little natural disasters, but tornadoes, to me, you can see them. And honestly, they're beautiful, I mean, and very majestic. I mean, if you can forget for a minute how destructive and horrible they are to some people, if you actually see one dancing around, out there where it's not hurting anything, no animals are getting thrown around and people's lives and property and getting uprooted and um, stuff like that, they're absolutely beautiful to watch. I mean, and just the feeling you get of you're just so small. You're nothing. This is the way I felt. It's like, oh damn. We get tornadoes, but we do have water funnels. Yeah, that's what they are. Tornadoes over water, little water spouts. I've been told by people that, and it's every bit feasible that, sometimes they'll find fish that are actually and were saltwater fish, and all of a sudden they end up dead on the bank by fresh water. Yeah, I'm sure that them water spouts pick them up and put them in other places. People might think I'm crazy for saying that, but I think weather and nature moves a lot of things around. Little bugs and, you know, things you don't even think about until you figure out, hey, that's not supposed to be in this part of the world. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I keep thinking any minute now that sucker's just going to pop and I'm going to hear good again. So at the doctor, when he was telling me to go to this, they're called, and it's not even an easy word for me to say, and I am in the field. Um, otolaryngologist. Otolaryngologist. It's just hard for me to say. Otolaryngologist. Because you got that G there, then you got to think of ology. Ologist. It's not crazy. It's so true. Mother Nature can be in oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and if you look at our world, if you watch the documentaries, about how the world has changed, she's always changing. All these people holler about global warming. Okay, look at the history of the world. It ain't the first time it's happened. The world cycles. She does what she needs to do to survive. She's always changing. This is how our mountains were formed. This is how, oceans were made. And it's just, we live on an ever changing planet. I don't know, and like, was it off the coast of Florida? Um, I heard that the red tide came in. Everybody was all freaking the hell out. Okay, people, it's algae. Okay, poisonous algae, nonetheless. Yes, it will kill a lot of stuff, but you can get rid of it. This isn't the biblical days anymore, to where I swear that's what turned the water red during the plagues of Egypt, was red algae. Yes. When it says it turned the water to blood, yeah, it's red algae. I'm not saying these things didn't take place in the Bible, people, but there's a reason that they did, and some of them, they still exist to this day. When the waters were parted, it was ebb tide. Any of you, and y'all know, any of you that live on by the ocean, can ebb and flow, neap and ebb, rises and falls. I was about to say, yeah. Well, and it's understandable because, people back then weren't as, uh, I hate to use the word smart because it had nothing to do with smarts. They were uninformed of the way things were going, or what was, going on with the world. Nowadays, we know that that's just an algae. A poisonous one, yes. It's very destructive, but it can be gotten rid of. and it will usually, we know what causes it most of the time. And we know that the tides ebb and flow, and we know that that hot and cold air mix us and want to destroy us. It's just the way the earth is. We're um, we're more knowledgeable about things now than they used to be. So what else do they have to blame it on? Even before Christianity came about, it was all about the gods being mad. Earthquakes would come and destroy a city. Um, they had no idea they were sitting right on top of a fault line. You know, no, they automatically just said, "Well, we must have made the gods mad," and so now they've destroyed our city. Um, it all depends on which geography you're in. They all have their own special disasters. I mean, but the people in Florida were like, it's like, first of all, people, don't panic. It's just a red algae. It'll be okay. You're going to lose some fish. It's going to go down bad, but I'm sure, I don't think it has ever happened in Florida before. Is why they were so freaked out about it. And I'm sure at one point you don't even really know what it is at first. But yeah, if you look back to the Bible at all the catastrophes that happened, we now know why, right? I mean, we know what probably caused them. And the sicknesses, we people used to get really sick back then because and they had no idea what a germ was. It's like, okay, well, so and so sneezed on me and had strep. They had no idea what all that was. They just knew that, somebody, it was all just bad. It was the gods and goddesses, punishing mankind and what have you. And the flood. Somebody asked me about the flood, what I thought about that the other day. And I had just watched an entire documentary on it, and finally one that agreed with me. I've been saying this my whole life, as far back as I can remember. The whole earth did not flood. Now, if you think back in biblical times, and those that are in flood prone areas nowadays, um, yeah, I'm sure they did think the whole world flooded because it was the world as they knew it, their world. Um, but the whole world didn't flood. There is no scientific evidence to back up the fact that this entire world flooded since mankind has been on it. Okay, now, back when the world was being created, I know also the Bible says it took 7 days. Well, we all know that it took much longer than that, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And it kept evolving. It started out as this big glorious ball of fire, nothing but fire, and then things started bombarding into it and cooling it off. Ice started coming out of comets and asteroids and cooling the earth off, and so much water. Once it cooled it off, then we went into an ice age, and then once all the ice melted, we got our oceans. I mean, this stuff is all over the internet. All you have to do is type in creation of the earth. It's another little rabbit hole I love to go down. I love seeing how all this was made. Um, it's always changing. The earth has literally, she went into an ice age at first. Some of it's still frozen. Um, the Sahara Desert used to be a big, beautiful ocean. Yes. They have found fish skeletons down in the sand, way underneath the sand in there. I just love watching that stuff. So we know that our beautiful world is ever changing, you know. Uh, like you, Rain, over in Hawaii, you know, the volcanoes can be deadly, yes, but they're also producing new land, right? You know, every time that comes up and explodes and throws lava, eventually, you know, hundreds of years from now, but that those are all going to be new islands and new lands. Not in our time. They're going to be green and pretty, and you know, it's just like creating a whole new world out there, new land. Everything is for a reason, you know, and just because things are happening in a way that we don't understand them doesn't mean that Mother Earth doesn't know what she's doing. We're just when you think about it on the large scale, we are so minute and unnecessary. We're here because we evolved here. It doesn't mean that we're going to be able to withstand whatever she throws at us. We're pretty smart. We've gotten even smarter. And the more we know things and with the diseases, and you know, that's why I love the medical field. And uh, I spend all of my uh, extra time researching stuff online or watching documentaries, all the way from the earth to the medical stuff to disease control, and um, all that stuff just really interests me. Uh, I really honestly wish that I would have pursued um, what I should have when I was younger. You know, it's another thing that happens as you get older. You're always looking back, going, "Damn, why didn't I do that?" Or "Damn, why did I do that?" You know, it's hindsight's 2020. Um, and a lot of it has to do with where you live. Um, I'm not a water person. I really am not. I don't know if maybe I was in another life and something awful happened, but it intrigues me. The oceans intrigue me. The animals, the whales, the killer whales, the sharks, all that stuff just really intrigues me. Um, I had even at one point thought about going into marine biology, but can't do that if you're pretty much afraid to be out in the middle of the ocean, right? Which I am. I will admit it. I just cannot see me ever out there in the middle of that ocean. Not on a big boat, not on a small boat. No, I don't even want to fly over it. Yes, the Hawaiian people do not look at it as destructive a process of growth and creation. Yeah, and they're very smart to do so because that's what it is. I mean, she can be destructive, but you know, you shouldn't have been in her way. She's busy. She ain't got time to tiptoe around you. Get out of the way. Um, that I one of my favorite documentaries to watch is the one about Pompeii. Um, and there's one that's almost like a movie, but it's real. It's real, a real documentary. But they made it very well. I think it's the last days of Pompeii. There's several of them on there about it, but this one specifically is like a movie, and I just love watching that. I know it's terrible destruction, and a lot of people died, but also a lot of people didn't take the warning. You know, you live right underneath, you know, a volcano. When it starts rumbling, leave. But where are they going to go? You know, they're surrounded by an ocean. Even by the time that their island neighbors figured out that what was going on, and they actually, I can't remember the name of the man. He was really rich, and I want to say he was on the island. I can't remember, guys, but there was an island over next to Pompeii. I'll think about it here in a minute. Because some of the aftermath of it hit there too, but not like it hit Pompeii. Was it the Bay of Naples? I'm scared of the ocean too. And you live right in the middle of it. Literally. I'm way far away from an ocean. I assure you. I think I've seen that doctor. Yeah, you probably did. But those people, they had no idea what was going on. They had never seen anything like that. And can you even imagine just how horrible that would have been? What a horrible way to go. Although, people say, well, the heat from the pyroclastic blast would have killed them instantly. Well, that's not what happened. Long before that happened, it was the smoke and the ash. And, it's not just smoke. It's full of glass, like little tiny microbe pieces of glass in that smoke. And these people suffocated long before, they were set on fire, per se. They were mainly covered in ash. Just horrible. See, that's where I want to go too. I wish I was not so afraid, because anywhere I want to go requires a boat or a plane or both. I don't want to go to the Bay of Naples. I'm sorry for the people. If anybody watches me from Naples, it used to be a beautiful place from pictures I've seen, but the last couple that I've seen of Naples, it's nothing but a very congested, dumpy looking place. It looks dirty. I mean, I don't want to go there now. No, there's nothing to see but a bunch of clutter. And, some of them places, they have their part of the ocean so polluted that it's just disgusting, and it's pathetic for me to have to look at and know that people live in that mess, and they made that mess, and how many poor aquatic animals they killed because they don't know hygiene, or they can't keep their little bitty area of the world cleaned up. Come on. We're better than that. Humans are better than that. I ain't going to get on that soapbox, because there's just no sense in it. There's no excuse. You can't give me no damn excuse for it looking that horrible. And they're not the only ones. India, whew, my God. Some of these places I would have really liked to have went and seen some of their history and their artifacts, but they're so damn dirty. I'm afraid to go. I mean, just by looking at the towns, they're just filthy, littered, polluted. Even here in the United States. Of course, we do have Adopt a Highway and things like that, little programs going on to where most people are becoming very much aware of, this sort of thing now, and caring. I mean, they were always aware, but now people actually give a damn, and they're starting to go out and just pick stuff up. There's no sense in that. There's no sense in that. I don't like messy. And there's beautiful parts of our world that are just littered by trash. And I'm one of those people, if you're driving in front of me and you throw something out the window like a bag from McDonald's, I see you throw that out the window, I'm probably gonna pull out my 45, I'm gonna shoot your tires out. Just saying. Shouldn't have littered. Probably wouldn't do that, but that's what I'd want to do. Make them go back and pick it up. No sense in it. But that's a soapbox of mine. I can get on it, stay on it for days, and it don't matter. Clean your shit up, people. All that mess ain't necessary. Crap getting thrown in our oceans and these poor sea turtles with these 6-pack things. I think they finally quit making those though. You know, the plastic things that the beer cans and pop cans used to come in. Can't remember what they're called, but they'd end up in the ocean, you know, around some poor turtle's neck or foot or shark's fin, and it's just there's no sense in it. People just don't give a damn. And to those people I say, go somewhere else. We don't need you here. Think about something besides your damn self for a change, you know? Oh no, it annoys me. It really does. There's no sense in it. But anyway, uh, I wanted to go to Egypt. Um, for some reason, all my younger years, even though I was in the Greek pantheon, the Egyptians and their way of life, their culture, everything about them just intrigued me. So in college, when I did I did a thesis on in sociology on Egyptian culture, Egyptian sociology, and I just loved it. They were very smart people, and they invented a lot of things that people don't realize that they did. Irrigation, yeah. I mean, I'm not even going into all that, but love and respect and that, yep. When mankind um, started evolving on this planet was the beginning of her death. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And there's some of us that, you know, try really hard and do things right, and then there's those that just don't give a damn. They just don't care. I don't and you know, you look at the rest of their lives and the rest of their lives is just shit too. So, you know, why not spread that shit around, right? I mean, I understand that my life right now isn't all that great. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I need to be in my life. But, you know, a lot of it is out of my control. And some of these people that are dwelling, they're just here. They're not even trying to make a difference in the shape of good. They pour more poison and havoc out into the world with every breath they take. Um, it's just sickening. I mean, when you look at the bigger picture, what seems so important on an average person's everyday life in the big scheme of things, in the huge picture, that really don't mean shit. You know, you can work all your life and buy this $700,000 home that you have to pay for somebody else to come in and clean just because you think it's going to make you a better person or look better. Uh, one earthquake, tornado come and blow it all away. What are you left with? I'm not saying that it's a bad thing if you want a big, beautiful home. I'm saying don't be so dependent on the material things. Don't What you own is not what defines you. Um, yeah, it shows that you've made a lot of money or was handed down a lot of money or whatever. But with all that money that you had, did you stop and feed one homeless person? Did you go and adopt or just take bags of food to a pet shelter? Have you done anything for the earth with any of your money? Probably not. Everybody, oh well, I donate to the Children's Cancer Center. Okay, well that's fine. But what about cleanup of the earth? What about Operation Let's Take a Boat Out and Go Clean all the crap out of the ocean? What about let's save this killer whale that's going crazy because she's locked in a damn little bitty swimming pool so everybody can come by and gawk at her every day and everybody wonders why she bites her trainer? Hello? Let it go. If it's up to me, every one of them places would be shut down. No, you don't keep a huge killer whale in a tiny little fucking swimming pool made of cement and expect her to be happy. Okay? They're mammals, people. They're not even fish. They have a social standing. That's why they live in pods. They're very intelligent. You depress the shit out of her. Of course she's going to bite you, and I don't blame her. Let her go. Let them all go. Free Willy, and I mean that. I can't stand it. I don't think any of them should exist. And everybody says, well, but how would we see them? Well, take boat tours. Go out to where they live. Go to their realm. You know, you still have National Geographic, you know. No, but that animal has to sit there and be miserable for your benefit. No, no. Sorry, that's the witch in me. And it shouldn't just be a witch in me. It should be in every human being with any sense of empathy for these big, beautiful, gorgeous creatures. Not just them, the zoos. Of course, nowadays, you know, some of them animals have been in captivity for so long that you couldn't set them out free, you know. They wouldn't know how to take care of themselves. Their pods probably wouldn't even accept them now. It's sad. It really is. It just makes me so sad. I don't know. See, there went a tangent, and I'm sorry. But I'm very, very serious about that. None of these places should exist. Go on a safari, go on a boat trip. Have people, you know, tour guides that know about these things and can take you to these places. Pay money to do that. No, it costs less to take them to the damn zoo. You know, let's go watch these poor apes and these birds in these cages. How are you going to put a bird in a cage? Oh, can't stand it, y'all. I don't think y'all even understand how bad that bothers me. I have honestly, literally laid in my bed awake at night thinking about that sort of thing. It's so sad. It truly is sad. But if everybody stopped paying them money to go see them, then, you know. But like I said, a lot of them couldn't be turned back to the wild anyway. So, I don't know. What would you do about it? Nothing. Can't do anything about it. It's enterprise. Free enterprise. These people are getting rich off these poor animals suffering. And if you look at some of these zoos, they ought to be shut down anyway because there's not adequate room, there's not adequate shelter, and there's not adequate food for these animals. If you really do the research and go through them, guarantee you there's not. Or their health care. You know? Ah, all right, I'll get off of it. Just saying. I don't know. It's just real sad. And my ear just popped. Ugh. And then went right back deaf again. But anyway, yeah, sometimes being a witch is a curse, because we think about all that stuff, and we don't just think about it, we dwell on it. I mean, it's literally when I see or something like that, or even hear about these animals, you just don't even understand what it does to my very soul. It affects me so bad that I can feel it in my soul. And it infuriates me. I get so mad and so upset, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. You know? Um, One person cannot do it alone. They always say there's power in numbers. And I'm sure there's many, many, many others out there that feel just like I do. I'm too old to be starting up some kind of thing to get rid of them now, but I hope one day they go away. I hope all the animals can be free and live just like we do, except for, I mean, ours are locked behind bars because they're horrible people or they did something wrong. They're being punished, you know. These animals didn't do anything like that. They didn't do anything wrong. They were just here. Oh, fuck, I can't stand it. So I got to quit thinking about it. It'll bother me to the fact it'll literally make me ill. And I have enough to be thinking about. I cannot take the weight of this entire world on my shoulders. I've tried, and it just has gotten me nowhere but sick and old and worn out, and this way it is. These people that are so hateful and cruel to these animals, what kind of person, really? What kind of person I just don't get it, can be so hateful and cruel to some of these animals. I mean, some of the things that I see in, news headlines, and I'm not even gonna bring up what they are, but there's horrible ways some of these animals are treated. And I'm like, I wouldn't even call them a demon. I mean, I'm aware of our demons, a lot of them, and they would not even do that to animals. They have better things to do with their time than torture a poor little animal, you know. Um, Sometimes mankind just really makes me sick. I can only fathom what the gods and goddesses are thinking of us. They're like, ugh, but they know that there's some that care, and by their empathy and sympathy, we reign supreme here, and I don't know. I'll get off that tangent too. There's just certain subjects I probably should never get on because just what I feel about it. But it is what it is. Another girlfriend of mine I work with, she said, maybe you should start smoking pot. Do you think that'd help you? I'm like, hell no, I ain't gonna start smoking pot. What the hell? I tried that when I was younger. It didn't do anything for me. It made me paranoid, and that was it. Made my ears ring. And I love the smell of it, though. I do like the smell of it. I always have, but it just does nothing for me. My neighbor just put up an ultrasonic cat repeller. Oh, really? Never heard of that. You talking about just your regular house cat, or are you talking about, y'all probably have big cats there, right? Ah, there goes my ear. If I start hollering, I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I drink Bob Marley too. Oh yeah? What is that? I know. I sound stupid, and I am when it comes to stuff like that. I don't know what that is, Rain. I did smoke mugwort one time just to see if it really did relax you, and it does some, but it didn't do nothing for me. You have cats and strays. Yeah. And I realize, especially the cat population can get way out of control. Um, it just takes a male and female, and before you know it, you've got 50 cats. Uh, they breed like crazy, and their gestation isn't very long either. What, once every 3 months they can have a litter, something like that? They sell at this. Oh, they do? Well, what's in it? When you said Bob Marley, I'm thinking, well, there ain't no telling if it's Bob Marley. It could be anything. I don't know. Um, Back when I first started doing these videos and we was talking about, I believe I did a video on it, smoking mugwort. That a lot of people did that. Um, you have to be really careful though, especially sharing that information, because somebody may be allergic to it. And I always say that anytime I do an herbal video, anytime I tell y'all anything medical, they used to catch them and abandon them at the mountain park, but it's against the law to do that. Take them from one element and put them in a totally. Oh yeah. Um. Yeah, I know of people that have taken, like, they'll get a cat. They'll decide they want a cat or a dog, and then they'll decide, they'll have that cat or dog for a year or so, and then they say, we don't really want this, and go take it off and just dump it somewhere. How can anybody do that? It's horrible. Taking their dogs and dumping them out in the middle of the country somewhere. They have no idea where they're at. Not to mention, there's coyotes, all kinds of wildlife out there. And you want to dump this little bitty chihuahua out there in the middle of fucking nowhere. What kind of people do that? Kind of people I don't want to be friends with. You could have taken that animal to the pound. I don't like pounds either. But it beats it getting eaten alive, In a year. Damn. Well, good. Good. I just don't get how people can be that way. I'll never understand it. Where, I just don't get it. I better not ever catch them. That's all I have to say about that. I better not ever fucking catch them doing shit like that. And I'm not even going to go into some other things that I've heard about. I get so damn mad I can't see straight, y'all. I'm not kidding, I do. I would be extremely dangerous if I ever caught somebody doing that. And the thing is, you can turn them into the law. They're not going to do anything. I mean, yeah, they might get them for animal cruelty. But there's not really a whole lot they can do. Yeah. Oh, I've heard of some people doing some horrible, horrible things, and I promise you, I hope they get half of what they've dished out. Just half. I mean, sometimes I'm really ashamed to be a part of the human race because some of them are just toxic, uncaring filth. They're just filth. Anybody that can sit there and do that, or there's something extremely wrong with their psyche. There's chemicals in their brain that shouldn't be there or something for anybody to get off on something like that. Think it's fun and cute. Ugh. Mm. I'll tell you, this life can give you a lot of good things and you can have a lot of good times, and then it can also show the depth of just despair and the really bad side of humans, you know? And I'll tell y'all another thing. If they don't start using that damn death penalty, I am going to rally a whole shit ton of people up, and we're going to make them do it. I don't give a shit. I was watching a documentary, and I watch them all the time, and even working for a while in law enforcement, some of these people, no, don't put behind bars and feed them for the rest of their damn lives with my tax money that I worked so hard for. Kill them. And then you got these people out there, oh, well, we can't do that. Just because I did this and did that, we got to be the bigger people. Screw that. Okay. Do you know what our prison population is? Now, I'm not talking about somebody that gets in there for drugs. They messed up. They made a mistake. Shit's going to happen. People make mistakes. I'm talking about these cold-blooded murderers that have thought this stuff out. That's all they think about is who they can kill next. Little girls, little kids, little boys, uh, grown women, whoever they can get their hands on. That's all they do is sit around and think about that. Okay? This is your psychopath. Finally get caught. What do? Well, we're going to give them 4 life terms. Okay, whatever. 400 years in prison. First of all, that's an awful waste of my tax money that I'm paying that judge to sit up on that podium to deliver that. Okay, forget all that. Sentence them to death. And I do mean they need to die. Okay, not be on death row for 30 years. Okay. I do realize, I know the court system. I know all that. But they drag that shit out so long. And with all these appeals, something's got to be done about that. And I guarantee you, if our punishments got stricter, there'd be a lot less of it going on. The United States of America has the highest crime rate. And you know why? Because we don't punish them. Oh, let's set you behind in these bars. No, it's not a good place to be. But they've got a roof over their heads. They have medical attention. They have food, water, all their necessities. They're fine. On our dime. Okay. And the horrible, horrible thing they did to get placed in there is what everybody tends to forget about. Okay, y'all, I told y'all I have no sympathy for them. I don't. Okay, I just don't. If you're sentenced to death, you should die. Okay, and there should be more use of the death penalty. Guarantee you, we would have a lot less of this crap going around. Now, look what's happening in our schools with the young kids. You know, some kids like, okay, well, I got so and so got mad at me today, and I think I'll grab something and take it to school today. I'm not going to mention it on here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because so and so over here in this town in this school did it. You know, you don't see that kind of crap happening overseas. Okay, only in America. I understand about compassion, but for those kind of people, there is no compassion. Okay. There's literally been, I don't know how many of them have done a 15-year stint, and somehow it got overturned. Whatever. Let that SOB out of there, and they wasn't out a month. Killed somebody else. Yeah. So, what it all boils down to, guys, is the people that are elected to run this establishment that we call America. Okay? I'm not going to go on a government politics rant either, but that's the truth. You have to find someone to put in office that not only has morals but ethics, that actually gives a shit about something besides their political career. Okay? That's what it's going to take. You can elect whoever you want as president. To be honest, he's just a figure. Yeah, he does have power, but not as much as people think he does. Okay? Look at your house. Study up on your government and politics. The president does not have the kind of power everybody thinks he does. Okay? It's got to go through the House. Anything he does has to be approved by the House. It's like the old Roman seat. Years and years and years and years ago. First Congress was in Rome. Even Caesar. Who do you think killed Caesar? The House. Their House of Representatives poisoned him. Thing is, most people don't even care anymore. You know, they think it's just too big of a subject, too big of a project to take on, and it's not. In fact, I don't condone violence. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not telling people to go do what has happened in the last several years, but people just are finally fed up with it. You know, truly, they're finally fed up with it. Everything around them, you know, and these elected officials aren't doing a damn thing about it. You know, they can go home. They don't have a problem going home and having a nice meal with their family, you know. When the mother over here that's single trying to take care of her children has to work 16 hours a day and doesn't, you know, she has just enough time to come in and feed them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich right quick, if she even has that. because, she had to pay rent that's outrageously high right now, and she don't make that much money. And what money she does make, some of that's getting taken from her and put over here in this elected official's bank account so their kids can have steak and potatoes every night and live in these big, beautiful homes. And they wonder how come people are getting mad at them. I understand it's free enterprise. Everybody, has a chance to do that, but face it, not everybody is, you know. And just because of, whatever their circumstances are, that they did not become a doctor or a lawyer or, your typical people that most people think make a whole lot of money, you know. Not everybody can be doctors and lawyers or uh, you know, bring in a huge paycheck. There's circumstances that happen in everybody's lives for whatever reason that they are who they are, and they're doing the best they can, you know. And like me, honestly, as a nurse, and I was a single mom, you know, just here recently we got a raise, but so did everybody else, come to find out. Still, people going and checking out people in Walmart can make as much money as I do. Yeah. And I actually have to have, a license to do what I do. So I don't understand why we cannot come to some sort a happy medium somewhere. I don't know. Um, I'm not saying everybody has to make the same amount of money. By no means. That is never going to happen. That is just asinine. What I am saying is that, and I now I'll say one good thing. Um, with all my health issues I've had here lately, I'm very thankful for the program that the government did put out, to where I can get help and I can actually go to these doctors and get the care I need. So I can get better and be a productive citizen and pay taxes and, do my part. Um, but this just happened. I mean, it just now got to that point to where I could actually um, go to the doctor. And as far as health insurance, oh my God. Yeah, if you can afford $400 out of each check taken, more power to you. I can't, you know. Literally, if I get a good enough insurance, even through my jobs, I'm looking at almost $800 a month. I shit you not. I'm not going to say the insurance company. Uh, and evidently, my company that I work for pays some of that, not the 800. It's more than that, but they pay that part. The 800 is just what I pay. It's right. It's like 396.94 out of each check every 2 weeks. Now, take that $400 out of my check, even though I got a raise, still doesn't leave much money, does it? And now everybody's doubled their rent on houses. I don't know how they expect anybody to live. I really don't. And I can honestly understand why people are getting so agitated and, showing out. Um, because there's got to be a better way. Um, there just has to be. Everybody is just going to have to deal with less or something. It wasn't this bad when I was young. We were doing just fine, you know. And They were talking about the farmers and this and that. Well, we better take care of our farmers, people. They're who grows our food. All the city people have never seen a real farm in their life that just go to the damn grocery store. Where do you think that comes from? You got people out there working their butts off every day, literally from sun up till sundown to make sure that corn is on your table. So we need to take care of our farmers. We need to take care of the land so we can plant. It's your basic things that most people don't, they're so spoiled nowadays that they just take for granted everything that's there is going to be there. It's not guaranteed it's going to be there. Then you're going to end up in some apocalyptic movie like you see that's not so far sci-fi, trust me. You've got your country people that know how to raise their animals and butcher them and farm, grow their own food, jar, can their vegetables and this and that, and they got shit stocked up. They got cellars and places full of food. And then you got the other people don't have a clue. Don't have a freaking clue how to do anything like that. So what's going to happen? They're going to be off stealing from everybody else. When the dollar won't matter anymore. It don't matter how much money you have. It's not going to be able to get you anywhere. You ain't going to be able to buy anything because it'll be obsolete. Then what are you going to do? We see movies about this all the time, people, but it can actually happen. And it may happen. How are you going to live? You better learn how to take care of what we got. And, we can't plant here because it's polluted from so-and-so's damn atomic, whatever it is, all that crap. I just went blank. It's all polluted because of the war machines and biological warfare and, just, God, mankind really sucks. I would love to live like that, self-sufficient and possibly off the grid. Yeah, and, it's not so hard to do, but the problem with that anymore would be finding a place to do it. I'm a firm believer that the gods and goddesses send us these plagues and diseases as population control. I honestly believe that. There's so many people on this earth right now and it's just getting worse. The population is outrageous. It's a big world, but it's really hard to find a place that isn't occupied. And the ones that aren't occupied are unlivable, or there would be people there. And even some of those places, some people have learned to live there, because they want to be alone by themselves or away from everybody else. It's hard to even live out in what we would call the country anymore. I don't like city life at all. I'm not what you'd call, I guess I would be in between. I'm not really a city girl and I'm not full blown country either. I'm more country than I am anything. But I know how to do all that. We always had a garden when I was little. I know how to plant. I know how to do things. I'd become a vegetarian, guys, because I really could not kill an animal to eat it even. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't kill it. I would just be a herbivore, which ain't such a bad thing either, I don't know. But it is. See, it's just brainstorming. But all this matters. And I know people watch this and the same with anything else, and they'll go, "Okay, yeah, well, she's right," but and then they forget about it tomorrow morning, they get up, go to work, and it's like nothing was ever said. Um, Nothing will get done. But what's gonna happen is Mother Earth is really gonna get tired of us, guys. She's really gonna and I don't blame her. She's gonna get rid of us again. I mean, I'm sure she's tired of being sick. And so why do I feel like I'm the one that has to sit here with all this on my shoulders? I literally sit up at night and think about this sort of thing, you guys. I'm starting to think I'm the weird one. That's part of being a witch. Some of this stuff can consume you if you let it. And I know all the warning signs. I know all the I know all that. Uh, but when I do that, I'm not getting anything accomplished. And I'm not getting any younger. I've got to get this word out somehow. Somebody do something. Let's pull together. Let's do something. Um, and it's you'll have the ones like me that'll go one way and say, okay, we've got to help. We've got to do this. How can I help get this done? Then you got your other ones over here and going to say, fuck it, I don't care, blah, 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 and just go around, get mad and doing horrible things. I'm told I can't say that word on here anymore. Killed. I'll just say it, killed. I have a thingy before each one of my videos. If you don't like what I say or if you can get butt hurt too easy, don't watch me, okay? I'm talking truth here. That's why I don't like parents coddling and sheltering their kids so much, because they are not prepared when they get out in the real world. They are not prepared for what they see. It's like throwing them, from a beautiful cold swimming pool into a hot boiling cauldron. Total culture shock. They won't have a clue how to survive out there because you haven't showed them what's out there. You have protected them the whole time. You won't let them watch that movie because it says shit in it. Come on, really? You're not doing them any favors. Let them know what's out there. Show them what can happen. Let them see the horrible documentaries about people getting killed. So your daughter will know when she goes out at 16 on her first date not to necessarily trust everybody around her and not to leave her drink unattended. Okay? This is how we teach our children. It's not all walk through the park with a bunch of roses. Come on. This is the world, unfortunately, that we live in nowadays. There's no way I would not tell my granddaughters about what's going on out there. Even if my daughter wouldn't want me to, I would still. I have talked to her about this. You've got to let them know what's out there so they know what to look for. They can be prepared. Hiding shit from them ain't going to help nothing. Okay? Teach your daughters how to shoot a pistol. Teach them how to protect themselves and your sons. Because the world ain't getting no better out there. Okay? You're going to have to teach them how to protect themselves, not just physically, but mentally, and how to be productive and actually take care of themselves. Okay? That is our job as parents. Not coddling them, not saying, okay, no, you can't watch that cartoon because there's just way too much violence in it. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Really? Bugs Bunny was going on when I was a little bitty girl. And back then, none of us, did things that are going on in schools nowadays. It just never happened. It's all these spoiled, weird ass kids growing up nowadays. And yeah, I'm going to say weird because they're weird. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you, my daddy did not want to teach me how to shoot, but I wouldn't leave him alone until he did. And he knew I was just curious enough that I would be the one to go and get his gun and learn how to do it myself, not having a clue. I would have never done that, but he didn't put it past me. And he finally just taught me how to shoot. And I remember I was still small enough that, and he had a 45 and it wasn't loaded, but I didn't know it wasn't loaded, but he handed me that gun and said, "Here." And I mean, when I held it, I just almost dropped it. It was so heavy. I was only like 9 years old, people. He wouldn't let me shoot then, but when I turned, I guess I was 11 or 12, he actually took me out there and let me shoot it. Of course, he stood behind me, had his hands over mine, and he actually pulled the trigger because I couldn't pull it. It just took too much to pull it. Was it about 12 pounds of pressure? 10 to 12, about 12 on a 45. And it was loud, like just scared me to death. Yeah. Anyway. But we were country people, we're old Texans, and it wasn't nothing for a parent to teach their child how to shoot, even that young. Shoot, a lot of them were, especially the boys, were hunting by the time they were 12. Um, just country people, it was part of everyday life. We can go around killing each other. We didn't take them to school. We didn't do stupid shit like that. We had target practice here and there, little games amongst each other. We didn't shoot each other. We knew better. We were taught better. And it's just something that did never happen. Nowadays, I'm scared to death for one of my grandkids to go to school. It's terrible. I mean, you just read, watch the news, and it just really breaks my heart. And to see some of those parents, when things happen, and mm, it just shouldn't be happening. But this is the true world, people. Even YouTube shit, or say drop the F bomb. They're like, "Oh no, we can't let you watch that," because some highfalutin parent over here that keeps their child in a golden cage, afraid they're going to hear that word. Really? They're going to hear these words. No, it's not a good word. I shouldn't even be saying it. I understand it sounds tacky, but they're going to hear them. They're going to hear worse. They're going to see worse. If you ever let them out of that cage, prepare them. Because you're not going to stop me from saying that word. Even if they take my YouTube channel off, I'm still going to say that word every day, all day long in my life, okay? Anybody around me is going to hear me say cuss words. La-ti-da. Anyway, my kids are prepared, okay? My grandkids, no. I don't hide nothing from them. I don't coddle them. They know there's consequences for their actions. And I think I've got some pretty damn good kids around me, They know to help people. They've got good hearts. They try their best every day, but they also know how to kick some ass if they have to, okay? Unfortunately, that is just part of it and has been since the first time men come up out of the water, got legs, and started fighting each other for their meals, okay? Just the way it's always been. You gotta learn how to defend yourself. Um, any other rant I need to go on? Let's see. Same things with me, though. Yeah, I'd like to go. Oh, yeah. Um, that's just the way it is, guys. You know, I don't sugarcoat nothing. I ain't gonna play no Little Miss Muffet games. Okay, it's the real world. My kids will tell you. Now, my son's a pretty rough dude. Um, for reasons out of my control when he was little. You know, he was one of those kids. He was little and he got picked on a lot. And I mean, these kids used to do some really bad stuff to him. Bad enough that there's been a lot of times when I almost went and kicked their mama's teeth in. Now, I'm not kidding. And anyway, he grew up having to fight. And then he went to prison. And, you know, for 10 years, that's all he, you know, you have to fight in there. So, you know, unfortunately, he learned the hard way. But if he hadn't known how to defend himself, even as small as he was so young and so little, and all these bullies picking on him, you know, and but he still got this huge, beautiful heart, you know. I don't know how it survived in him, but I'm thankful it did. And all my kids are that way, but they're fighters too. And I'm the same way. You know, I'll give you anything I got. You know, if you're hungry, yeah, come into my house. I'll make you something to eat. I may not have much, but you're welcome to it. But if you break in my home and make me feel threatened, or just don't break in my home, or I'm going to shoot you, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Okay? I'm not going to feel bad about it. Don't come into my house uninvited. Ever. Just the way it is. But there's a lot of people like me out there like that. It's like, hey, you know, I'll do anything in the world for you. You know, how can I help you? Is my motto. But the basic instinct is self-preservation, people. We all have it, and the armed services count on it. Okay, when you're being trained, they count on that coming out. So just know that it is what it is. You won't break in another house, I promise you. That's another reason I couldn't live in one of these big cities. Not saying that they're all horrible, but and if you've got enough money, then you can afford the security and, you know, what have you. While you're in that home, it doesn't mean it's, you know, they're going to protect you while you're walking down the street, you know, or sitting in your office at work and somebody come in because they had a bad day or a bad year or just a bad life. They want to take everybody out with them. That's what it's about nowadays. It's not even about putting them in jail. They know when they leave that house armed that they're not going to survive it, and they don't care. They don't want to. Okay. Suicide by cop. So it's either you or them, right? And having all the witchy stuff in the world, yeah, I'm a witch. But I'm not going to sit there and call on the goddess and say, get him. She would probably look at me like, excuse me? You know what to do? No, we ain't got time to bring out the crystals and holler this love and peace crap at that time. Time to fight. It's time to win. It's time to stay alive. And I'm just so afraid of the world that my children, my grandchildren are growing up in. I hope it gets better. I really do. I truly do. I hope that somehow people start figuring out that, hey, it's bad here because we're the ones making it that bad, Um, people make it that bad, they can also make it better. And understand there's sickness. I work in the field. I know that we have mental illness, but I'm telling you, I have, uh, I can't even fathom how many people that I've dealt with as far as mental health goes. And I cannot think of one, honestly, that I would have been afraid to let in my home. They had their issues. They know about them. You knew about them. But that neighbor, maybe he's even an attorney, that lives right next door to you, that watches your 15-year-old daughter, come home by herself every day and learns routine. And all of a sudden he breaks into your home because he knows she's there by herself because he's been watching. Okay. He's this high, this person that's a outstanding person in the community, and nobody would have ever thought they would even do something like that, right? It's the ones you have to know other signs to watch for. And I'm telling y'all, if you look at people's eyes, look at their eyes, okay? It will tell you so much about that person. And I don't even think you have to be a witch like me. I mean, I'll peer straight into someone's soul by looking through their eyes. And I've seen some good looking men, I mean, gorgeous, and they seem to have everything together until they looked at me, until I looked in their eyes, and I'm like, oh, no, get away. Look at their eyes. I'm telling you. Be surprised what you see. And you have to be looking. Really look, You don't have to be a witch. It's just a thing every human has. As I always say, witches are only, we've learned all these things and we use them. Every human being has these abilities. They just don't use them, or they push them off, or they don't believe it, or whatever. But every single person can look in someone else's eyes and you'd be surprised what you see. And you get better at it. I don't know, guys. I just try to pass down little things I've learned throughout my life and share mistakes I've made, so maybe somebody else can learn from them, or it might help someone. I always try to be the best person I can. Here lately it's not so good because I just haven't felt good, and my patience is not as good as it used to be. But I think I'm awesome. I think I'm an awesome person. I think my compass is okay, and I'm just very aware of the things around me, This world is getting pretty bad. I actually had I'm going to tell you all this story, but I don't want it to sound like I'm tooting my own horn or I'm all that because I'm not. But I was working with a patient one time, and he was talking to me, and it would seem that he was the most honest people, and he just seemed so nice. And then he would flip. And when I say flip, you could literally look at him and almost see an eclipse. You could almost just see something else move in there, just overshadow that person that was talking to me, and he would become someone else. And he would become one of the most terrifying people that I had ever had a conversation with. And it was just so matter of factly, he would tell me. He flat out told me. He said, "I think that you are one of the nicest and sweetest women I have ever met." He said, "I would kill for you, but I want to kill you too." Flat out told me that. Looked me straight in the eyes and told me that. And I'm like, "Oh, that's not good." He's like, "Something in me will tell me to kill you." And I'm like, wow. And you want to ask some questions because that's that scientist in me wanting to know, is it, do you hear a voice telling you to do this? Is it just something deep within you, in your soul, that is telling you you need to do this? Is it, you know, there's so many things I wanted to ask him, but I didn't want to bring anything out in the environment that we were in because we were in a facility. And I just pretty much knew to let him vent, let him say what he needed to say, and not reiterate, just. And of course, I documented it, and I told the doctor the next day, and then they would no longer let me around him. I don't think he would have. I think he just knew that there was an internal battle going on in his body, in his soul, and he didn't know how to fight. Didn't know how to fight it, And I think that happens with a lot of people, but a lot of it too. You can almost understand why those people kill, if there's any way to understand it. But you can almost see where they would come to that, as opposed to somebody just had a bad day, or this kid didn't get that car they wanted for their birthday, so we're just going to go shoot people. It's way different than when somebody actually has a debilitating mental issue. Um, and if you actually talk to some of them, they're very kind-hearted people, a lot of them. They just, the minute they start thinking good thoughts, and they'll tell you, something else just takes over. Something else won't let them do that. It's like, how you and I will have that little voice in your head, okay? When you're thinking, you're not talking out loud, but you're thinking that voice, They have somehow or another developed other voices, and these other voices are telling them other things. Now, some people would say that's possession. It could be. I'm a witch. I don't deny anything in the supernatural. Some of it's, that you see on YouTube's a little bit far-fetched for me, but it is what it is. It's entertainment. Uh, when you really see somebody that um, could be possessed, it doesn't mean they're, this isn't The Exorcist. They're not sitting up spitting green shit all over the place and spinning their head around. It could be that person that lives next door to you. that comes over and, helps you water your yard every day, or they can be perfectly fine and functioning adults one minute, and then the next minute a switch will flip, and they go into that other mode. They go into the other personality, and it's really, I mean, it's scary for us, but can you even fathom being that person? Well, how tormenting and awful that must be for them. So I try to think of the way they would be feeling when we're in care, um, when I'm having to deal with them. I try to think of, and you have to be careful what you say. I've never walked on eggshells so much in my life as when I have worked in psychiatrics, and you have to be careful. You never know what a trigger word will be. Um, it could be anything, a perfectly innocent word that you just use nonchalantly could trigger someone into flipping the hell out. And that's why it helps so much to know everything that you possibly can about that patient. Uh, Read up on them, whatever you got to do to know, you know, what they're about. But um, the human psyche is just amazing. Our brains, we don't even realize how powerful they are. And I say this in our craft all the time. It can be used like most people think it can't be. I am living proof, and millions of other witches are too. And one day we may not even be called witches. One day they may have another word for us. I don't know. Um, but if we're capable of all this other stuff, and sending mankind to the moon, and now we're out, trying to get to Neptune and flying around Saturn and what have you, why can't we figure out how to clean up our world? You know, need to focus down here, you know, figure out how to clean her up so she'll be healthy. I don't know. But these are my late night ponders. I guess I better go off here. I didn't realize I've been on here 2.5 hours. Are you asleep yet, Rain? Because I'm just rambling. uh, Takes all kinds of people, don't it, to make the world go round. And I just do my part. I'm trying to be a good person, trying to treat people like I would want to be treated, the way I know is right. Um, but you ain't got to take no shit either. You know what I mean? You just don't have to. Um, I love you guys. I'm going to go. Rain, um, I will send you a candle if you want. Um, I'm fixing to type my Gmail address in there. If you will send me your address through my in the mail as soon as I can. I don't know when it'll be. I don't get it paid again, I think, till the 9th of June. So but I will send you a candle. And you can put it over there and nobody will see it but me in that email. Okay? I have no idea even anything about what Hawaiian addresses are like. You're off in a whole other world than me. Well, you know what I mean. Um, but I will get you one in the mail. Okay? I'll type that in here right now. Whoop. Yeah, I'm sure. I have plenty of them, and they're just sitting in there. I hope they still smell good. I made them like 3 years ago, so I hope it still smells good. I don't want to open the lid to see because I'm afraid I'll let some of it out. But anyway, it'll be something for me. You can just set it and burn it however you want to do it. Let's see if I got that right. Yep. But that's the email address. You can send me your address, and I'll get it in the mail as soon as I can. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I love all of y'all, and I thank the goddess every day for y'all that you're here for me, and I'm here for you too. If you need me, just let me know. Do what I can. Love y'all. Blessed be.